I'm going to talk to you guys real quick about the procedure. Some of you guys are wanting to do stuff nicer than what I do. I do not do this kind of work anymore, but I'm going to tell you how to do it. So if you're trying to get the nicest finish you can get on your car, you want to really be a showstopper. I'm going to tell you how to do it, but I want you to know these are not examples. Nothing I do today, I will not do another show car, period. Done. I won't touch one. It's just too much time, and that's why I won't do it. And it takes a lot of physical energy to do. But I'm going to tell you guys that are trying to get that show quality finish, the procedure you need to do to get there. First of all, you're not going to be able to make it with a cheap base coat. You're not going to be able to make it with a really cheap clear. You're going to want to get some really good stuff. But you know, like if you go with Glacérit, that's going to be really expensive. There's other things that work just as well. Back in the old days, I used to use Glasomax, which was the old Glacérit before they have Glacérit, and that was a base coat. And then we wouldn't use their clear because their clear was too hard. It was too hard to work with. So we used RM is another BASF company, and RM had one called Meracryl for their Meracryl MC1000 clear back in the old days, and that stuff would go over the Glacérit base coat because there was really only one that a company that, or there's two companies that had base coat, regular base coat like we know today, and one was RM and one was BASF. You know, we're all BASF companies. One was RM and one was I wasn't using Lemco back then, but one was Glacérit, so Glasomax. So anyway, that was what we used back then for really high quality Mercedes-Benz, BMW color match and finish. So I'm going to tell you guys the procedure to get there. Okay, first of all, you have to have all your prep work has to be 100%, not 99%, not 98%, nothing less than 100%. You have to sit there and hand sand and hand sand and hand sand and hand sand until everything, you know, is blocked down to where you run your hand across everything and you feel nothing. If there's a little bump somewhere, nope, not good enough. Keep going. Keep hand sanding and reblocking, hand sanding, reblocking until it is literally perfect. And all your corners and edges, you have to do all those. I'm just giving you the quick idea on the prep, but that would take a complete video, separate video to do. So, you know, like this crap right here, nah, that's not acceptable. You know, it's got to be every area, take a small area at a time and cherry that sucker out. Just cherry it and just keep going until that area is perfect, you know, until you just got everything. Your corners are blocking tight. Everything's just, you know, and you just section everything off and do every piece, every quarter until it's every panel until it's perfect. Your prep. Now, after you've done all your prep, your base coat, you've got to spray it on super even, super perfect. You pretty much got to get your base coat to level down perfectly smooth. If there's orange peel in your base coat, you can correct it with the next one. But I'm going to tell you how to do that real quick. So the next thing you want to do is after you're done shooting the whole thing with base coat. A lot of guys don't know this step right here. They'll go right to urethane clear. Now, the next step is, this is the key thing, is get base clear, also known as binder. Okay, a lot of people don't know this trick right here. And you shoot everything with base clear. All right, so you can find out the paint company you're using. Say, hey, I want a clear base coat, and they'll go, oh yeah, we can use this and we'll make a clear base coat. So you shoot everything with clear base coat and then you color sand everything again. Super smooth. Okay, color sand it, don't sand through. Put about 3 coats on there and hit everything down. Knock all your dirt out. Now, if there's a little piece of dirt in it, you'll see that little teeny bump there. It'll stand out. So now you got to be really good with a touch-up gun and just knock out all those little things by touching it up and blending. And then after you do that, you could do another coat of base clear, sand it again if you wanted to, or you can go right to the urethane clear. Now, to do that kind of finish, you can use a lot of different clears to do it, but you really want a good high-end clear, a high HS clear, high solids clear to do it. So that's when you want to stretch out, figure out which clear to use. That's the tricky part. Some guys say, there's a whole bunch of different HS clears. So I'm not up on the newest ones because I'm not doing show work. So you might want to go to somebody else and find out what the best HS clear is. Now you're going to have to do this also in a spray booth. You're not going to do this in your garage at home and get the same finish that you're going to get in a spray booth. It just won't come out that nice. You're going to need a really good spray gun. You're going to need a Technipro Light. No, you will not get a show finish, 100% show finish with a Harbor Freight Tools for spray gun. That's almost laughable, okay? You have to have a premium spray gun. It has to be DeVilbiss, Technipro Light, GTI Pro if you're in Europe, the Iwata LS400 Supernova, or SATA 4000 or 5000. Okay, now you got to spray all your coats of your finish perfectly level, as smooth as you can get. So now you spray your 3 coats of clear coat on with urethane clear, and when you're all done with that, you're not done. Now you're going to go through, and it's called flow coating. Well, we didn't call it flow coating back in the old days. It was called sand it down and hit it again. You're going to go through and you'll flow coat. I love that, we'll call it flow coating. This is what they call it today. So you'll look up videos on flow coating. Sand everything down perfectly level again and spray the clear again. Now you're going to notice that the thing that's really cool, and you make sure that you don't sand through any of your clear. You're going to put out the good 3 solid coats of clear on, and you're going to sand all that down again with like 800 to 1500 grit. Probably start out with like 800 and then finish out with like 1200 or 1500 grit. Get a really, really smooth finish. Now, you go through after that and re-clear the entire thing 3 more coats. But you're going to notice this. The second time that you do it, it's going to lay down way smoother. So even if you're not wanting to go full show, but you want a little bit of an edge on your paint job, you can do this by flow coating and do the second, sand it down and shoot it all again. 3 coats, and you'll see the second time, the first time you go over it, it just lays down so nice and smooth. And you put 2 more coats over that and then color sand it buff. But it's not really to get a thicker coat of clear. People think thicker clear is more shine. It's not really that. It's more of to get a smoother finish. So you can do the same thing also if you want to you can do a full show paint job and go single stage. People will say, oh no, there's no way you can do it. No, you can. You can use single stage urethane, go do the same thing. Paint it 3 or 4 coats. When you get all done, when you think you're done, you're done. You're not done, you start all over again. Now sand it all down again. Sand it all down really super smooth again. And it'll give you an opportunity if there's just minor stuff like this is bad. But if there's little stuff in your first coat, sometimes it'll give you a chance to level some of that stuff down a little bit more. And then you go through, paint it all again, and then color sand and buff it. Because what it'll be when you get to that point where you're color sand and buff, it'll already be almost like perfectly like glass. Now when you do your color sand and buff, you got to be really careful on that too. So you got to do all your color sanding and make sure that it's just blocked color sand, perfectly blocked, and then buff it, for hours. Literally, you can buff your car for weeks when you've done that, you know, to get it to be really, really nice. You'll want to buff it once and then go back, you know, do it the whole thing to where you think you're done, and then do the same thing. Start all over again. You think, oh, I'm all done buffing. Nope. You just barely got started. Now you go through and don't color sand it again, but go through and just rebuff everything to where every little cloud in the corners and everything is gone. And you do that by doing it multiple times. Sometimes you'll end up buffing it 3 or 4 times before it's perfect. So that's the method to use if you want to go full show. I mean, if there's you guys are out there, I know you want to get a full show paint job. That's how you do it. I don't do it anymore because honestly, you know, I could do 5 different vehicles in the same amount of time. So why would I just don't want to, you know, I don't really care about it that much. I'm over that. When I was younger, had the eagerness, you know, I'd go out and do it. You know, I did one car that was everything. Every door jamb was freaking glass all the way, you know. It looked like you open up the doors and you'd never know that I masked them to paint the outside separate than doing the inside, because you'd look at it, it just flows right in the jams all the way around, you know. And that's all a masking technique that you use for show, which I'll show you real quick. Let me see if I got a masking tape roll. So this is basically the principle: is you take a piece of tape, you hang it up, and you fold it to where this part of it's folded over and the other part's still sticky. And then when you tape off your jams, well, some guys today are doing all the jams in one spray, and I get too much dirt by doing that. I don't like doing that. You know, well, they'll do it and they'll sit there and blow everything out of everything, get it so perfectly clean. But I think the new spray guns, to the high pressure ones, were harder to do that with, because they would pick up dirt all over the place. So that you put it in your jam like this. I'm just giving you an example. But you make it so that the tape is actually perfectly level with the outside of the jam. This isn't perfectly level, but if you get the idea, and then everything goes in that way, so that when you paint here, just that little tiny bit of overspray will go tuck underneath the tape, and then you can polish that out and have your jams continue into your perfect finish all the way around. So it looks like it was, you spray this no orange peel 2-3 times, get it perfect, sand it up to here, and then spray all this, and then and it just looks like one continuous paint coat all the way around. So that's how you do it. But don't ask me to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm done doing show. I won't touch them anymore. I'll look at them at a show, but to me it's like, God, you know, nothing's going to sit in somebody's garage. Yeah, boat anchor, no thanks. Alright, so anyway, but if you're going to go full show, that's kind of the method to do it. Give you some ideas. Look at some other guys' videos that are doing it, and learn from everybody a little bit, and learn some shortcuts for yourself. There are shortcuts to do show, but, you know, they're still long. It's a really, really long journey. Okay, alright, I'll talk to you in the next video.